This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm starting a series on travel influencers and what they tell you versus what is reality. My wife and I recently took a 4-week trip to Europe, specifically to Italy, Slovenia, a little bit of Austria, and Switzerland for 4 weeks. We drove 4,000 miles, hiked and or walked 276 miles. A lot of the things that we thought we were going to find out about Europe were completely wrong or completely overblown when it comes to travel and safety and what we should bring, what we should not bring, things like that. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I hope you stick around. Another thing I want to mention is when we went on this trip, I was never thinking of starting a YouTube channel of travel videos. So I don't have all the flashy video of us walking through courtyards and on the beach and things like that. I don't have all that. I will supplement with my photography because that is what I do. I'm a professional photographer and I love landscape photography. So I will put some of that kind of thing in. But I didn't set out to make these videos, so I don't have a lot of the flashy stuff that you might see in some of the other videos, so sorry about that. But you will get to see some little videos on driving, where when we were driving around hairpins, things like that. Those are crazy.
It's like a mountain traffic jam amongst hairpin turns. We're not sure why.
Look at that.
And that giant bus is, I don't know, made a hairpin turn and is kind of stuck.
And again, some of my landscape photography. So one of the things I love about Europe is that the food is amazing. There's spectacular scenery. Traveling there is so much fun. It's absolutely beautiful. There's history everywhere. It's just incredible. But there's plenty of things that nobody really talks about, especially like these travel influencers that we discovered on our trip that we thought we would share with you guys so that you, for instance, you'll know when to take the train and when not to, when to take the ferry, when not to. We rented a car, as I mentioned in the opener, and like I said, we drove 4,000 miles. We also did a lot of walking, and one of the things that people don't talk about is that Google Maps and Apple Maps in certain situations, especially walking in some of the smaller, tighter cities, they are completely useless, or if they're not completely useless, they'll put you in areas where you're not even at. Like it'll put you 30, 40, 50 feet on the map away from where you actually are. So one of the things we'll discuss is why Google Maps and Apple Maps have such a difficult time. I also want to talk about trails when hiking. One of the things that we found is that things will be labeled easy or moderate, and that's dependent on you and what your hiking level is. So don't get me wrong, some of those trails are easy, but boy, some of those trails that are marked as easy are very difficult. And so that's also a cultural shift thing too that we realized here. I live in California, my wife and I live in California, and we don't actually do a lot of walking. We have to go force ourselves. Let's go on a walk tonight. Let's go on a walk. Let's go get some exercise. So if you're already a mega trail hiker, walker, you're not going to have any problem. But if you're in your 50s like I am and things have kind of gotten a little bit more sedentary, which they shouldn't, but they have, I'm just being honest, you might want to double check some of those trails and how they're rated, because sometimes things are rated differently than what I actually thought would be easy or difficult. We're also going to talk about why hotels ask for your passport and Airbnbs ask for your passport. And we'll just talk about some travel advice that's given online that just actually doesn't meet reality. So if you stick with me, this series of videos isn't going to be advice on the greatest places to go see. There's plenty of videos about that out online on Instagram. We got flooded with those. Once we hit the algorithm on Instagram, we were constantly flooded with, you got to go see this and you got to go see that, which is great. So you can find out tons of that information out there. We're going to talk about what to bring versus what not to bring, what travel gear is great, what we felt we needed, versus what we didn't. And then also it's going to depend on the length of your trip. So I'm going to give some advice about things like that. Things influencers never mention, things that they exaggerate, and things that they just completely get wrong. One thing I learned on our travels is that reality looks a lot different than what is on social media. Social media, the influencers are constantly showing you an angle where they're all by themselves magically, but what they don't tell you is when they turn the camera around, there's 8,000 people standing there looking at them going, oh, what are they doing? You're not showing you the complicated parking, the tickets that you have to figure out as far as parking goes and how the machines work, how they only give you what I would consider 82% of the information needed to actually park there. The weather changing at times from morning to afternoon. That's something that is really drastic, especially in the Dolomites and the Alps. So topics that will be coming up in this series also is why Yelp is unpredictable and actually kind of useless over in Europe. Let's talk about also how transportation actually works and the realities of driving in Europe, especially in Italy, Rome, and Venice. So if you're planning a trip to Europe and you want to get some quick stories, some quick advice, some things that we learned on our trip, then please stick around and let's get into the next video and watch this series. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you in this first video.